Welcome back to Friendly Fire Games. I am your host on YouTube, Daniel, and joining me tonight we have Russ, who is not currently in the game with us.
I'm trying.
And we also have Kaylin, and this is, I think, Kaylin's second time on stream with me. Maybe your first. I'm trying to remember, Kaylin. But Kaylin is off headset. Kaylin is off headset for a bit, but he may join us on headset a little later. So Russ will provide a voice for Kaylin. He'll randomly give me warnings about enemies next to me and call outs
Silent
and everything.
but deadly is what I call him.
Yes, absolutely. So, but we're playing some Battlefront 2. It's something that we come back to every now and again. A game that we were very good at back in the day, and I say back in the day as if, oh, hello, Commander. I'm glad you're so excited. Hey, actually, after this game, if you are near your PlayStation, I'd be happy to send you an invite to the game as well, Commander, because we'll have one open spot. Won't have you in chat because we do have to play with our viewers off stream a couple of times before we try them in chat. We just kind of have to know a little bit about their personality. Though it can't get much worse than Andrew. So I mean,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like we have to be worried. I mean, I think last night he was trying to show everyone his rear is what I got out of the stream. That's basically all I got. Yeah, Russ, it was bad. It was bad. Hello, Rose. Good to see you. But it is good to have you, Commander and Rose, and there's Kaylin greeting everyone in the chat as well. So, it's been a while since I've seen you, Rose. Hope you're doing well. Definitely hope you're doing well. So we're chilling. Russ is apparently late to the download party. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking.
The download's fine. It's the copying that's getting in trouble over here.
Oh, that's right.
SSDs the next generation.
Yeah. I remember that now, Commander. You told us that, and I blanked. Such a sad thing. He plays on the Xbox, yeah. You did remember that, and I do too. The second he said it, it was just one of those. I was so excited to see him online. I was like, let's play with him. I don't think you can play with us on Xbox. No, I'm not aware of anything that allows cross-platform on Battlefront. So. Well, we have lots of people killing us over here. Dang. Oh, I didn't see that one. I saw the other one. Okay, let's do a better job there. Come on, lady, get out of combat. Okay. So, we are trying to secure this objective. I don't feel like we're doing a bad job of it. Let's see, is anybody up there? Okay, we've taken this one, more or less. Okay, perfect. And let's go take the other one. Yeah, and you're all good really does suck. Just wish the Microsoft and Sony could work it out. I know, right? I've said that so many times. It's usually, currently it's a Sony thing. They control the playground, so why would they do anything different? I was like, he did not shoot me that hard, but I guess the detonator would do that. Kaylin, I need to spawn on you. Live, man, live. Yes, that'll work. I'm here.
Capturing reactor control. Disperse the attackers.
Yeah, copy is at 48%.
Oh crap. What? Ah. Okay. Kaylin is just charging headfirst into battle and actually surviving, whereas I'm like trying to be careful and I'm getting slaughtered. This is like teaching the opposite lesson of what it should be teaching.
Commander DM is so sweet. We got the notification for our stream and clicked so fast.
That's awesome.
In reactor control.
Have you sent in the request for your name change yet, Commander? I know we talked about it, so you need to work on that.
It's gotta be Commander Doom Eternal.
I don't think that was the option we gave him, but sure.
Grenade in play.
Oh, what was the option? I missed that.
Well, I'm not going to say it because it involved his actual real name, and he may not want to share his real name on the stream.
I see.
I think he has on the stream in the past, but I'm still trying to be careful, just in case.
We're holding the outer perimeter. Regroup.
Rose says the same. Oh, about the notifications. Awesome. Yeah, it's been a while, so we are very glad to have you back. We are glad to have you back.
To break free with the droid. More of them.
When I play female characters, Rose, I used to be Vixen,
Seize the area
but it was with a Y instead of an E.
After that, we'll trap and slaughter them.
She came to put her roseness all over the wall, which, you know, more power to you.
I like it. My roseness. Okay. Let's try to get a villain by the end of this. It used to be I could get a villain first. I'll be lucky now if I can just try to get one, period. Oh. Okay, we're getting shot from the left as well. Where is this guy?
Oh, see, I actually came up with Commander Doom's alternative nickname.
Okay, let's not go in that door.
And Rose is not actually Rose's real name, it's her show and stage name. Well, she didn't say stage. Alter name.
I know what you meant.
Are you on the stage? Do you perform, Rose?
I do musical numbers, but nobody appreciates them.
I try to stop you every opportunity I have.
Oh, what a shame, Russ. I was
And
changing my
that's what
name.
it is, guys. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button.
I was killed by a football fan. What kind of football fan goes around killing stormtroopers? I mean, come on. Talon, I'm going to try to spawn on you if you can get out of combat for a second. Por favor. Thank you. I'm good now.
That dude's really into fingers.
Throwing grenade. Taking control of the supply hold.
Okay, I've got 3 guys right next to me. This is going to be fun. Where are they? Did I not kill that one? Oh my gosh, no health left. You're trying to get the name changed to, yeah, don't, it didn't bother me. You guys mentioned Bryce Doom. Yep. Strange craving for fried pickles.
Rose, you're banned from the chat for saying that you cared.
Russ has a phobia of 2 things in life. Pickles and clowns. These are his fears. So when you put the 2 together... Oh my gosh, I am in a terrible location. I thought I was assault. So there was a...
They're not fears so much as, you know, like kryptonite to Superman.
a terrible, crippling fear of pickles and clowns. And the best part is, in the city that we grew up in, there was, I don't know if he still is, but there was a clown that did birthday parties that literally was named Pickles the Clown. So that became our running joke whenever we wanted to scare Russ. And by scare, I mean, like...
If he's still around, he's got to be the scariest clown of all time.
He probably is. Luke, go away! Go away! You big bully. Gosh.
Oh, that's not Luke. That's actually just Mark Hamill, some tweet. Who's that badly with his tweets?
Whew, got one, and I'm about to die. Okay, let's keep our 2 health. Kaylin, don't die! Don't die, Kaylin!
Yeah, Commander Dude, that stream was pretty confusing. I only showed up for the last like 5 seconds and I had no idea.
Oh my gosh, now I'm dead. Wookiees and officers.
Where's this terrified of clowns?
Yeah, I watched the stream after the fact of last night, and I've learned that Andrew has betrayed my trust forever. So has Rain, actually. Oh, I'm just joking. He said that if Daniel knew there was nudity in a sex scene, he wouldn't have allowed this. So I was just laughing at the fact that he said that. And then Rain said, "No one tell Daniel." So I'm on to both of them. They think they can sneak these things past me. Rose, you need to get back into Apex. You know, I thought we'd play Apex a lot longer than we did. I really did. But I don't know.
I think the problem is that battle royales are just kind of getting stale.
Yeah. It's also the fact, for me at least, that if I'm going to play a battle royale, I don't want it to just be a shooter. And that's what it felt like. Like, that's kind of why I'm still into Realm, is because it's not just a shooter. There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Oh good, the Emperor is with me. That's gotta help a little bit, right? Was that Finn? I'm gonna go with Negatory. Oh.
Going for the east exit.
Wow, this is big news for the Star Wars universe. Kathleen Kennedy was apparently replaced at Lucasfilm for new Star Wars.
Huh. That is big news.
Securing the east exit.
That explosive sentry, dang. Okay. Can we afford a villain? Yes. Are there max number in play? Yes.
All exits secure. Advance and destroy any remaining resistance forces.
Bosk. Russ, am I missing anything in chat?
Change of plan. Resistance transports are landing. Detonate the vehicles at port and starboard positions.
Says Commander Doom says the Fortnite's Pro-Am this year was down apparently 72% in viewership over last year.
Wow. That's crazy. That is legitimately crazy.
Rose has been addicted to Stardew Valley on her new computer.
Someone
Also
else was
working
wanting to play that. I'm trying to remember who it was.
I think Andrew was playing that on his Switch.
Okay, I chased a Wookiee away. I feel like a proper bounty hunter. That is my job, after all.
Well, now I'm wondering if that news source was incorrect.
Why? Luke, you're not gonna kill me. Oh, well, with teammates you might. You're gonna kill me. That wasn't Luke. That was Anakin.
It looks like she's just not going to be the like day-to-day overseer of the new Star Wars movies.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Post this trilogy.
I'm the evolved form of Anakin. So what is she gonna be?
Buy it on her phone to play. Stardew. It's tough for me to play like full-sized, console-sized games on my phone.
Thank you, my master.
Doom loves heroes versus villains. Easily one of his favorite game modes. Commander, I haven't played it since they've changed it to a free-for-all. So I'm curious to see how that's going to be.
I have to know, Commander, have you watched our old Heroes versus Villains win streak that we have? We have a playlist of it. I assume you've seen it.
I assume nothing in Battlefront.
Okay. I have helped my team to get rid of that one, anyway.
Daniel, your silences in response to my questions are much more deafening when I can't hear any gameplay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, what was the last question I did not respond to?
I can't tell you now.
Aww.
It's been too long.
Okay, so I'm fighting Yoda and a heavy blaster, I guess. Let's see. That was fun.
Keep watch for reinforcements.
Where is this guy? There he is.
It's blinding. Worthless.
Commander Doom says, yes, I have. My stomach hurt after because I laughed so much.
Those were some of my favorites that we did. They were hilarious.
Rose, I'm with you. I like games that have a big story and the characters grow with you.
Okay, I'm in a bad spot here. Let me out. Let me out. Yeah, that's really bad.
I'm at 83%, Daniel.
Well, that's good. You'll be just in time for our defeat. They're holding the spot really good.
Starboard ship wired for detonation.
There is a common belief, Commander, that the entire reason we lost our win streak, and we're not still going to this very day, is due to Andrew and his hatred of Battlefront in the end.
At the starboard transport, setting charges.
It's completely and utterly true. He definitely caused us to lose. I believe it. I'm trying to buy a Switch because not only Animal Crossing but also Octopath Traveler game is calling to my RPG habits. Okay, I have successfully set both of these. Someone needs to protect them. No! Oh yes, someone did. Someone did it. Nope. They failed. Russ, without you, we cannot win.
You cannot prevent forest fires, that's for sure.
We can't do that either. Unfortunately.
We should play a round of Blast.
What's your percentage at?
87.
I know. I always target Andrew after he's targeted me. And he targeted me last stream, so it's only fair. He gets to watch this one and see me target him. Okay.
He's not gonna watch a Star Wars stream.
Sure he will. You know he cares so much. Okay, I'm backing out of this one, Kalen. If you'll do the same, and we'll do Blast.
Rose, you should just skip purchasing the Switch and buy Final Fantasy VII when it comes out.
I did love 7.
Plenty of RPG.
I also loved Fire Emblem. That was one of my favorite games to play as well back in the day. And then I got really into MMORPGs, which kind of broke me, because now it's hard to go back to a regular RPG because I enjoy playing with my friends so much.
Oof, we just got called out by Turtle Games.
Why would you quote such a bad movie for your stream title? It's true. I won't disagree. But, you know...
Wait, what? You won't disagree?
I won't
think
disagree.
The Force Awakens is a bad movie?
I guess I was thinking of the second one more than the first. But yes, compared to the original trilogy, I was not impressed. It was kind of a copy. It was a copy of A New Hope. It really was.
It's not a bad movie.
Okay, I'll agree. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a good movie.
You were thinking of Solo. This is
No,
not a quote
I
from
was
Solo.
actually not thinking of Solo. I was I was thinking of The Last Jedi, which I know you like, so I won't get into an argument with you on it. I will
All you
simply.
whining kids saying that these women are ruining your childhood memories.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a sexist thing. It had nothing to do with the women. It was about the fact that it was serving the director's agenda of what he wanted Star Wars to be. And he didn't make it fit into the Star Wars world. And what I keep saying about it is it was a fine movie if it was its own movie by itself. If there was nothing else before it or after it, and that was like
Rose.
just, So what?
I said, see ya, Rose.
See you, Rose. Catch you later. But as part of a long-standing.
Okay, look. Commander Doom is right. If only Anakin had the high ground.
All I'm saying.
Those prequel movies were so much better when it comes to fitting into the Star Wars universe.
They were not as good as the originals, but at least their story didn't mess up the originals, and that's kind of what I felt happened in the sequels.
Hey,
in the
welcome
sequels.
to the stream, Kalen, the alien.
Okay, I get it. I'm done.
Cutting Daniel off to welcome people to the stream.
He's just cutting me off in general. He's literally cut me off for whatever he could find.
We're losing control. Get it together.
Okay. We don't take other people's opinions around here. We cut them off.
We don't tolerate bad Star Wars opinions on this stream.
Yes.
Are you guys in a blast?
We are having a blast. How well that blast is going is debatable.
See, Chortle Games is like the Emperor, and that he just brings strife and discord wherever he goes.
Oh, is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were having a friendly debate until you cut me off.
Oh no, I never have friendly debates.
Just friendly
Debate
fire?
teams. That's right.
They've taken the upper hand.
They've taken the upper hand. What kind of crap is that? What am I? Oh, Vanguard. That would explain it. Okay, Kalen. Where? Oh, right there. That's where.
It's okay. It's installed. Yay!
Yay!
Now I
Perfect.
can't watch the chat and interrupt you anymore. I'll just have to do it on my own accord.
Yeah, I'm sure you can handle it. You've had years of practice. Okay. There he is. I eliminated a mouth. Huh.
Can't turn and run now. Get into the fight.
How dare you call me a mouth?
Did I eliminate you?
Yes, that's the joke.
You poor soul.
Battlefront 2.
You can't win. I have the high ground. Literally, that feels like what's happening here.
Throwing one. Placing order gun.
It looks like Chortle Games is agreeing with my bad opinion, Russ. It's perfect. I'm endorsed by a whole nother channel.
Then I know it must be wrong.
Okay. Let's win this, Kalen. Win one for the Alliance, or the Resistance, or somebody. As I get shot in the back. I'm Obi-Wan with the high ground. Yes, yes I am. I agree, Commander, and that's kind of what I was saying. Is I don't like it when things mess up other people's work that I enjoy.
Mess up in your opinion.
It wasn't just mine. I mean, it's the opinion of a lot of people that when you're trying to say
No, we're
this
not
is
talking about other people's opinions. We're talking about your.
well, in my opinion, it did mess it up. I thought it was beautiful what he was doing. It just didn't fit with the current world that had been created. It was kind of trying to say, yeah, like especially like Yoda and his statement about, you know, you don't need all that, burn the tree, the years of work. Like that doesn't fit with anything Yoda stood for prior or acted like. It was kind of just their way of validating. They used Yoda as a way of validation to kind of say, well, if Yoda says it, it must be true. But it went against his whole teachings to every single student of his prior.
Well, every single student of his prior had failed. And his last student completely went against his teachings and his advice and went on to win and save the universe. So maybe Yoda grew while he was training Luke and realized that maybe the old Jedi ways weren't what they should be.
But Luke didn't go completely against his teachings. He went against them once based on the fact he wanted to save his friends, and then came back and finished them and did follow them, which is ultimately what led him to changing his father's mind. Like it was the calm and peace and the desire to actually
he went in to his father and struck him down in rage.
Yes.
I think that he ignored Yoda's teaching, and I think that there's room to interpret that as, hey, Yoda didn't know it all. He went into exile for however many years because of his Jedi ways, so maybe he realized, hey,
I mean, I get what you're saying, that like even in
also,
death slash
in the next trailer, they say that they've been teaching her the whole time, and that the reason that the books weren't important was because they were kind of mentoring her.
Yeah, and I can agree with that, but that goes back to the fact that it's a different director. I actually respect J.J. Abrams and what he was doing a lot more than I did with Rian Johnson. I thought that J.J. Abrams was trying to honor the work that was done before, and even though I didn't like how similar The Force Awakens felt to New Hope in my own head, regardless how other people felt about it, I thought, you know, it was still a fun movie. But I felt like The Last Jedi took what The Force Awakens did and kind of spat in its face a little bit, if not more than a little bit. And the same with other movies. And I feel like J.J. Abrams is a good person to end this trilogy because he could potentially kind of bring it back around to whatever he was going to do initially, which I had a lot more respect for than where we got.
My thing is, if they wanted it to be a very straightforward story that pleased everyone, then they wouldn't have hired Rian Johnson for the part.
Well, I won't disagree with...
I was never a big fan of Rian Johnson. Everyone, overly praised him for his work on Looper, and I thought that movie was kind of predictable and cliche. So I'm not like a Rian Johnson fanboy, but I think you do have to say, like, okay, the movie was made, the decision was made to go in a different direction. It's not... Everyone wants their headcanon to be made reality.
Well, yeah, but usually...
Because our wishes weren't fulfilled, and because certain character interpretations were different than our own, it's considered to be ruining the franchise. And I think that's just silly. The other films still exist. Just because the story is going in a different direction doesn't mean that, your childhood is ruined.
No, and I'm not arguing that it ruined my childhood or that it ruined the franchise. I'm arguing that it went against the franchise, which I think was not that wasn't the platform he needed to use. He didn't need to use the entire Star Wars universe as his platform to create his story.
But he was literally hired to do that.
Yes, and I think the people that did that made a bad decision. Now it's made, and what's done is done until the next time someone buys out Star Wars in 100 years and decides none of it is canon anymore. But I do think that J.J. Abrams had respect for prior canon, and I think Rian Johnson did not. And I'll stand by that. I'm not trying to say he ruined my life. He didn't. But I don't have to like it.
I was super displeased with the ending of Game of Thrones. I thought it was rushed, out of character, and not really fun for anybody. But I'm not going to sign a petition and say that it needs to be rewritten. And I'm not going to sit there and say that the entire series is garbage, because the ending was not great. I can disagree with it, but I can also see its merits. Like, there are certain scenes and moments in those last few episodes that were truly epic.
Yeah, and I think this
are making the series better for having existed.
And I think that you're probably seeing everybody else talk about the same thing, or some other people talk about the same thing, and kind of thinking I'm agreeing with everything they're saying, and I'm not, because again, I had no issues with any of the female stuff that happened in the movie. I had issues with the way they treated the Force and the Jedi as a whole. But don't hear me say that I'm out there trying to push for a petition or a redo or anything like that, because I'm with you. I'm with you on the idea that I was disappointed in some stuff with Game of Thrones, but I still have respect for a lot of the series, and I still enjoyed the series as a whole. And I truly did like a lot of scenes from Last Jedi. I did not like them in the universe of Star Wars, but I thought there were some really cool things that happened, and there were some moments I laughed at and loved. There's moments I thought were cool fight scenes. Like, don't hear me say I hate the movie. I just don't like it in comparison to what was being done with it prior. So I'm not one of those people out there saying there's nothing good about it ever. It ruined everything for life. I do wish it had been J.J. Abrams still, and I feel like that if I feel like to some extent the reason J.J. Abrams is coming back is because Disney recognizes that too. I feel like if Rian Johnson had truly done what they were maybe hoping he was going to do, he probably would have stayed in that role. I mean, I don't know that. I'm not there for any of those conversations. I mean, I'm backing out, by the way, Kaylin, so we can grab Russ. But I do feel like there's hope in this next movie for them to kind of give some explanation to things that don't mix well between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and maybe give some validation to things like you're saying about, the explanation for why Yoda says something like that or does something like that, and kind of putting all the pieces together. So there is this solid chance of the second one leaving us in a weird spot that can be redeemed by the third, but if it is redeemed by the third, I'll still say that'll be J.J. Abrams, in my mind, redeeming it. Because it felt to me very, very agenda-driven. It felt very agenda-driven, and I don't know that the Star Wars universe... Yeah, and we can talk about that. So, like, one of the things, and I can tell this in a lot of movies when you're watching them, it's like you can tell if a movie has points it wants you to get that have more to do with, like, what their values are, and that's not a bad thing. So I'm not arguing against the values, but like in the movie, you had the casino scene with the animals and the slaves and the money and the rich and so forth.
Anyway.
And that was there because of a point they wanted to kind of make about how people were treated. Hold on, let me send you an invite.
I'm like weirdly in a queue and can't get out of it.
So the Canto bit or whatever that whole scene was, that didn't really fit, but the reason they had Finn go on that journey was to kind of tell the story of, hey, look at how rich, powerful people can use their power in an exploitive manner towards people and creatures and other people. Like, look at the bad here. Look at what can happen if you're using it. And that's no, and I'm not disagreeing. Like that's going back to what I'm saying is, like, I don't disagree with that message. The message is true that, like, we do need that message in our lives of don't.
I didn't get a invite, by the way.
That's so weird. I just sent you one. But when you're trying to fit that into a movie for the sake of that reason, it doesn't always flow with the plot. And so you have several of those moments where, because
so you think that the reason that was there was just because they had an agenda to push?
The whole journey between Finn and Rose and what they did and how it played out literally made no sense in the plot otherwise. Like, when you look at, like, why would you do this and what comes of it, there's a lot to be said of why, like, I don't know how to describe it. I'd probably have to sit down and, like, write out my thoughts as I rewatch it again, because I've only seen it twice. But it just, I agree with you that any good movie is going to have a little bit of haters or controversy or stuff, especially if it's got some good values or good points to make. But the level of controversy it got
was disproportionate to the thing that was actually on the screen, in my opinion.
But should show that there is a problem, because there was never that level of discontent with any of the prior Star Wars movies. Not to that level.
Oh, I completely disagree.
You could argue that there was some, but never to the level that you saw for The Last Jedi.
Well, you have to remember that social media wasn't a thing for any of the other films except for The Force Awakens. And so the type of backlash you can get on the internet in a very highly politicized and interesting time is tenfold what you could have gotten for any of the other films. So I don't think that's a fair comparison.
But even today, like, people going back in hindsight and being able to talk about them, the people that don't like Star Wars are the people that don't like sci-fi. You don't have, like, a large group of sci-fi fans going, this bothered me. The original trilogy is this. And even with the prequels in today's time, when you have people kind of bashing them, they bash certain things, but they don't really bash the story. The prequels get bashed. They get bashed for the bad. They get bashed for Jar Jar, and they get bashed for Anakin's acting and stuff like that.
But the first 35 minutes of Phantom Menace was about a trade dispute.
That was
and sitting in a room talking.
That part was
pushing politics.
Well, and
let's go back to George Lucas's prequel.
And I'll agree that, like, to me, I'm not pushing for, like, a conservative or a liberal agenda.
Out of line with the Star Wars movies, which is there are really good parts, and then there are parts that don't make any sense and shouldn't be included, and they may not be character accurate because people are just writing stories, and you have to go with whoever's writing the story's interpretation of these characters and the story that they want to tell. It doesn't mean that there's some sort of crazy conspiracy to sabotage the series because they want to push a message.
Again, I wasn't accusing anyone of sabotaging the series. I am saying that they were using it for their own purposes and not really caring about what had been done before. And when I say they, I mean Ryan and possibly Kathleen Kennedy as well. I feel like they cared less about what had been done before them and cared more about their own ideas for it, which I would have appreciated a little bit more respect to the people who had done their work before them. If you're going to follow me in writing, if you're going to finish a book in a series that I started, I would hope that you kind of make sure it fits. And to me, it didn't. And I wasn't the only one that felt that way. I'm not like the odd man out here. There's a decent number of people that felt the same way. I'm not trying to claim this is some crazy conspiracy theory or that somebody deserves to be killed or that this is all some kind of agenda. Like, I'm saying that it was an agenda for somebody to write their own story, and not a bad story, but their own story that didn't mesh well with what had been done before. And so they had to undo stuff. They had to say, well, that's not how this works. We don't agree with that anymore. They were wrong in the past. Like, you have to change a lot about the past to make your current story work, and that's what they chose to do. And to me, that felt disrespectful of what I consider to be good work that was done in the past as a whole. Not that any of the movies are perfect by any stretch, but just good work. And so I wish there had been a little bit more respect towards that. And there are even interviews where, you know, Rian Johnson will say, you know, I wanted to do my own thing, and yeah, I didn't check the script that they had for this. I decided to just keep what I had in my own brain and not compare it to what they'd already been working on. I had this, but I already knew where I wanted to go, and so there wasn't this whole like let me check in and see what.
So you wanted them to consult the Jedi holocron team to make sure that everything was.
Yeah, really. That's exactly. I feel like
plan, but they didn't have a predefined plan when they were writing the original trilogy.
Well, George Lucas didn't, and yeah, George Lucas actually, one of the things he did well is he had a bunch of people around him that really fixed things he did wrong. And I remember watching that documentary on the making of Star Wars. I mean, really impressed with the fact that I actually would have hated a lot of the decisions he made. But he had people around him that were like, that's kind of dumb. Can we fix that? And he'd listen to them. And I wish that Rian Johnson would have shown that same level of willingness to listen to others who also were passionate.
Well, you assume that those were voices in the room.
I think that if there weren't those voices in the room, that also shows a problem with where Disney and or Kathleen Kennedy or Rian Johnson were going. If you don't have those kind of voices in the room to begin with, that also shows something about you or about the people funding you, one or the other. Because the fact that those voices aren't in the room, like you need to be able to have disagreements.
I guess I don't understand what the big upset is. You say it's like a Yoda thing.
Well,
just a political driven thing or a writer's interpretation thing. And I'm not getting your big like story points of like what went wrong and what you would have preferred to see.
Well, I mean, for one thing, like what they did with Luke, they really took all of his growth from the past, and they kind of made him look like he had just become a bitter old man. And I get that he could have. I'm not trying to say that he should be like this amazing legend that does no wrong, but they basically, he's this guy that is willing to let his father cut him down more or less in the hopes that he can save him and believes there's still good in him. And then with his own nephew, he has this moment of there is no good in you, and like just says whatever, I'm gonna kill you, like, and not actually kill you, but like the idea of you're not savable, you are not, and says this to him, and his whole everything that was Luke got messed up, if you would, because they wanted to cast him that way.
The way they portrayed it, though, okay, you're remembering the way it was shown on screen, but when Luke's words were like, he ignited the saber, and like as soon as he did it, he realized what he was doing. And, like he knew that it was a wrong decision, and it's kind of like as he was striking his father down in rage.
Yeah, but we're talking about him pulling out a lightsaber on a sleeping person, like.
Yeah. Well, he was having a vision of what he was doing.
Yeah,
I don't see it as out of character so much as portrayed maybe poorly from a director of photography point of view.
Well, and maybe so, but that was still a choice that was made. Like that, those are the kind of things. It's like they chose to like, and how they treated Poe. To me, Poe is a really cool character, but they really made Poe kind of an idiot in a lot of ways on purpose.
I think that part of the movie was kind of strange.
They kept making him act like an idiot, and I was like, guys, like you spent a good movie making Poe. Yeah, he was rash, and you can make him rash here too, but he's not this level of. It was things like that. It's just like you take one thing that bothered me.
They were trying to pull a Han Solo of like, oh, I'm going to go out and be selfish and make my own decisions and be the big hero, and at the end of the day, I'm going to grow and learn and come back and be smart for the next movie. and
And
it was just executed kind of poorly.
and that's what I'm trying to say is it wasn't
But
just
that's not a
one thing.
that's not a like, oh, the whole movie just is so bad.
Yeah, but I can go on for like I could list one thing that bothers me and then the next thing that bothers. Like when I get done, I feel like I've listed 6 or 7 big things to me that bothered me, and when I feel that way
Allow
about
me to
something,
introduce you to Attack of the Clones.
I was not a huge fan of Attack of the Clones either, and I bashed it at the time too, and it's still in my mind Star Wars, just like unfortunately Last Jedi is. Like I'm not saying I'm gonna.
You said it. It's still Star Wars.
And so is Last Jedi, but I don't have to like it. I can complain
No,
about
you
it.
don't have to like it, but you can't say that it ruined Star Wars.
It did not ruin Star Wars, but it was, to me, not... It did not honor Star Wars. It did not honor any prior Star Wars, which bothered me.
No, can't say that either. Can't say it didn't honor any prior Star Wars.
Name one that it did. It definitely didn't honor Force Awakens. It literally tried to take almost everything.
Oh, you're saying it's not honoring a particular previous Star Wars movie.
Correct.
Not the spirit of Star Wars.
No.
So it didn't honor the one of the previous Star Wars movies.
Correct. And all the rest do. Like, all the rest do. The prequels, the sequel, The Force Awakens.
I introduce you to Ewoks.
That was pretty painful to watch. But even Ewoks, you take what you've been given and you see that they did a pretty good job of, like, you know, trying not... Well, okay. There was the Star Wars Christmas thing, which was also horrible. But in general, if you weren't talking about, like, a silly movie being made, then we're talking, like, actual Star Wars movies and not, like, here's an Ewok movie for the children. Looking at chat, I can see that Steven is a little bit more heated than I am. Yeah.
I missed all the chat. I was too busy forming opinions. Oh yeah, well, I guess we can use heroes. They're just being occupied at the moment.
I am one of them. Let's see. We need to go contest this spot over here.
What mode is this? What are we playing?
Supremacy. We're about to go try to blow up a point.
We're capturing a command post.
Okay. I will try to start paying attention to chat for a second.
Capture the command post.
Kayla wants to know, will we be seeing 9 opening night or no Fandango tickets? Probably not opening night. I haven't been ever since, you know, I became a dad. It's been a little harder for me to try to do like opening night kind of stuff, but I'll definitely be seeing it within like the first week of coming out. And I'm sure Russ will be seeing it around that same time frame, more or less.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And then Kalen says, Chortle says, see, I thought The Last Jedi was just bad, not only as a Star Wars movie, but as a movie in general. Writing was bad, overly dependent on things happening just because they needed to happen. And see, that's where I won't agree with you completely, Steven, because like I liked what they did with a lot of things. I do agree with you about some stuff. Like it's almost like they put things in to get to the point they wanted to get to, as opposed to letting it be a consequence of the current actions. But I did think the movie had some good parts. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I just didn't like it as a Star Wars sequel. Kalen says,
makes the movie good. Swole Kylo.
Okay, Maul, please don't kill me. No.
Oh, I was supposed to board, huh? Whoops. Oh, we're boarding now. I see. Oh, no. Okay. I guess I was.
Kalen says the direction was good, as well as acting. The writing was pretty bad. Agreed. Chortle.
The writing was on par with other Star Wars movies.
Chortle says Ryan's attitude after the release is evidence he had his own agenda.
I don't think there's ever been a Star Wars movie that I was completely happy with. Even Empire Strikes Back didn't have... didn't have space battles.
Yeah, but see, that's just
And like,
like
if I go
missing.
back to it, I hate watching that part where they're in the like the space worm and that whole slow pace.
Yeah, I
That's
get
just not a
that,
fun thing to watch.
but it doesn't ruin the whole story for you. And
Oh,
when
rather,
this didn't either for you, but like that's what I'm saying is like, like the difference is
I
when
understand
something
that
bothers
here,
you.
Here's what I would understand more is if you said the reason I hate this movie is because, like you were saying, of Luke, like just completely falling off the rails and not being who we saw in The Return of the Jedi. Like, we're never going to get that Luke Skywalker that we wanted. And instead, we got the Luke Skywalker who's at this point in the journey because that's the story they want to tell. And that's disappointing for big fans of the old Star Wars. And I understand that. Like, that's a big point of contention that I think almost everybody had, even the actor himself. But the rest of it, I guess I just disagree. And that's fine.
And yeah, and it is. I mean, that's what people do. We disagree and we work through it. And it is, as you said, it's done. Just like we could say the same about Game of Thrones. It's done. It is what it is. But for me, it will always be a movie that did not live up to any of the hopes I had for it. Had some good parts, didn't live up to any of my hopes. And typically, even if something doesn't live up to some of my hopes, like even Game of Thrones lived up to a few of my hopes. Not many, but a few. And so it's things like that, where I just didn't get much out of Last Jedi from what I wanted. There were obviously some lessons to be learned from it, some things you could look at and go, okay, I see what they were trying to say there and teach there, but it just, yeah, it wasn't mine. Steven goes on for multiple messages sharing some more reasons he felt it was not a movie he enjoyed. Commander is talking to Steven. I am hiding in a corner. Good gameplay.
I don't know how to use this clone trooper guy.
Which clone trooper guy? The ARC trooper?
The dual pistol. Yeah.
Treat him like the Emperor. Use both triggers, left and right.
Do know that part. Everything else.
And he has a
kinda...
stun grenade.
Oh, that's a stun grenade. Okay.
And you throw it and
Is that
blow
a
it up.
charge shot?
Yes, it's not worth using unless you're fighting vehicles. Don't bother.
I just one-shot the guy with it.
Oh, okay. Well, I changed my mind then. As a whole, I find I kill people really quick with the dual pistols. Okay, let's see if we can clear this ramp. Come on, Kalen, let's go. Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. Greg says, Luke battling mental health was one of my favorite parts of the Star Wars films.
Oh, Greg showed up? I need a backup.
You can't trust Greg. The only reason he watched Andrew's stream was to see Andrew's butt. He literally said it in chat, Russ. So, if he's your backup, you're in trouble.
You didn't have to watch the stream for that.
Commander says it's crazy how long this game mode is, or how long it can be. No, you're right. You're definitely right. We will. This will probably be the only game we play. After this game mode's over, we'll be done for sure, one way or the other. Okay, welcome to the stream, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Russ and I debating. It was friendly fire. Don't worry. I still like Russ as a person. He may not like me, but you know.
It was like, was it Blue Dragonfire? Like that's our logo. So
yeah, I mean, like it's implied. The fun part about debating with you is like I don't feel like I got done like with somebody that is actually mad at me afterwards.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna sign you up to political newsletters on your email account.
Yeah, that's actually worse. So let's just get angry with each other now. No, but let's see. We have a dislike. Oh no. But were they disliking?
Steven.
Were they disliking me or you or both?
Probably.
Guys, you gave us a dislike. It probably wasn't anyone here. It was probably some random person that gave us a dislike and ran away. We know it wasn't you, Stephen. We know.
Russ is here to help our engagement.
He's doing a good job. He's not engaged. In fairness, he's not engaged anymore, though.
I get it. Valid jokes.
Steven says, I would never dishonor my wrench. And Commander says, haters gonna hate. True story, bro. Okay, I have 11,000 battle points. Somebody let me play Anakin.
They never will.
I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. Leveling up Anakin
This
these
guy,
days.
At least he's fighting. Sure, he's retreating, but he's still fighting.
I tried to spawn on Kalen like 18 times. There we go. The game was like, nope, you can't.
And I accidentally get into first person way more often now. I guess, Realm, maybe? Maybe I'm trying
Probably. Let's see. Greg says, I can't ban another mod. Steven says, you banned a mod. Greg says, no, it won't let me. Also get a different color. I'm the green guy here. You guys. You guys are too much. Oh my gosh. Please don't be banning our other mods, Greg. To the best of my knowledge, none of our mods have abused their privileges. Steven included, for the record. Steven supports us more than most of our mods do. Oh, Steven did it first, probably. Y'all are funny. Okay, we got tons of villains on the contested point on A. I'm trying to stall. I have Maul, I think.
He did.
Good job.
I think he did it.
I don't think so. It must have been someone else. Are we getting flanked on the left, or is he coming in on the right? Yeah, I can't tell. I guess he's coming in the front door. Yep.
Oof. Shot for Bosky.
Oh, I'm watching him all right. He's dead.
Nice.
Oh, we're losing a point. Let me try to stall it. I'm gonna lose this point in a minute. Dang it. I stalled as long as I could.
Coming into the game.
I need to go back and check. Actually, Kalen would probably know. Kalen, if you're not gonna go on vocal chat, that's fine. But if you will in chat at some point, if you do know one way or the other about Droidicas, will you let us know if you know when they're coming out? Kalen has paid a lot better attention than I have to Battlefront lately. I heard the change to heroes versus villains, and Commander, you may know because you've been playing pretty regularly as well about Droidicas and otherwise, but I heard the changes to the heroes versus villains game mode really weren't for the best, because they basically made it blast where, okay, Greg says July for Droidicas. Thanks, Greg.
Droidicas.
Droidicas. Or Droidicas. Why? Just because.
Alright, that's gonna do it for the stream, everybody. Thanks for watching.
I didn't even get to like give my ending cheesy line, Russ. So
We're
yeah.
holding
Okay.
C. Alright. C.
Okay,
Oh,
hey,
good.
we're about to get to go try to destroy some more objectives. Good job, everybody. For the honor of our brothers, no! Yes, Russ, we
We did
did it. I got killed by the guy on the left, but we did it.
We got the big scary guy with the lightsabers.
It's true. And this is how we work here at Friendly Fire Games. When it's all said and done, Russ and I are still going to kill random guys wearing 4 lightsabers on their vest or belt or whatever it is he carries.
And honestly, doesn't know how to use them. Just swings them around.
It's true. Okay, can I get to either of these ships? I don't think so.
When we talk about ruining stories, how about a non-Jedi using 4 lightsabers?
That's true, though the Clone Wars animated series did a pretty good job explaining that.
And that's not a movie.
It's true,
Doesn't count.
but it is their canon. Disney has literally declared that the movies and the animated series are canon.
Yeah, that's not the main body of text.
I'm not disagreeing. Let's see. You bet Chortle's better at this game, Greg? Yeah, probably. I'm sure that Miles plays it all the time.
July.
So let's try to actually take out. Come on, let me be a hero. Seriously, whatever. Okay. Actually, I probably shouldn't.
That's what Mark Hamill was saying in the writing room for The Last Jedi.
That is definitely true. Okay, let's see. There we go. I would lose that bet, says Steven. Yeah, Miles doesn't play Battlefront. Unless he's lying to you. He could be lying to you, you never know. Let's push B, guys.
Why? Because.
Haha! Look at you, practicing your dad jokes.
I did a Valdad joke.
I'm very impressed. Oh crap, there are several camping the left side the second you come through the door.
Oh, come on.
Steven says it wouldn't be the first time that Miles has tricked him. Okay, Anakin, you're supposed to be... Oh, I guess fighting Darth Maul actually is in your job description. Carry on.
That door doesn't open.
Okay. Greg says, oh, Daniel. I think the expression you're looking for, Greg, is dang, Daniel.
Oh, he says, damn, Daniel.
Well, he probably does.
Where are we going?
I don't know. Where are you
very
going?
confusing
Because
map.
I'm spawning on you, so... Oh, hi. Don't you shoot Russ in the back. That's Andrew's job.
Right there.
Or actually Greg's job. If anyone would shoot Russ in the back, it'd be Greg. I'd shoot him in the side. Okay. Okay. We got one. Let's do this. Good job, guys. Hold the line. Oop.
Maul. Who's dead?
There's a guy to the left of the point. Another one. Like if you're facing the point, not if you're defending it.
So to the right of it.
Correct. Well, I like looking at
just
the objective would be left, but you are. There's someone on the point.
I see him. There's another one coming in right behind him.
Okay.
Not sure where he went though.
Several coming in on the opposite side as last time.
Oh, I just scanned him. He's right on the point.
Okay. Shoot him! No!
Stunned him.
We'll take it.
He's a jet
Oh,
trooper.
did he deactivate it? You need to reactivate
Did he?
it.
What a jerk.
I'll stand in front of you. There you go.
We're taking out the target.
We will win this eventually! I feel like the jet trooper is still alive, but someone may have killed him.
I'll scan again. I don't see him.
Okay. We can do this. It's in overtime, so unless someone starts
Do you
B...
get both or just one?
No, we have to get both. This is... That means we have to go through that whole cycle one last time.
Great.
I'm telling you, this game mode has so much potential, but this never-ending back and forth. If one team, like if both teams are pretty equal and can keep stopping each other, this game doesn't end. We're slowly moving forward, and it feels forever. If we weren't slowly moving forward, this game mode, as Kaylin said earlier, can last forever. Like, it's just insane. It really is.
Have they said anything about changing it?
I
know?
honestly don't know. Going back to not paying as much attention as I should. Kalen says rolling metal credits after this match. No joke. We will have a lot of credits. Okay. I can't jump over a fence apparently. I am too fat. There we go. I thought
Which one are you going for?
I guess I'm headed to A.
Me too.
Perfect. Defending C works really well for guarding E as well. So once we take A, if we can guard C, then it should protect us at E. I'll head to C. It looks like you've got...
You do. Oh god, I just got blown up.
Okay, we have 3. If we can control 3, we're fine. I'll defend D. So many snipers. Commanders, yeah, it does need a time limit. I completely agree, Greg. That was kind of the point I was making. Is like, it's a great game mode if the parameters were designed slightly better. And that's what I was saying about heroes versus villains. They changed heroes versus villains to not have someone that's the target anymore. So now it's just like the first team to 50 kills, which apparently makes the game mode a lot worse for most people, because in the past, if you had a bad teammate or two, they were only the target 25% or 50% of the time. And so when they were the target, a good player could guard them. When they weren't the target, then the good player could try to stay alive. But apparently when it's just like blast, that means a bad player can go off and die like 10 times when you don't die once, and your team still loses because they keep dying. So it kind of puts a lot more pressure on like the whole team being really good players, which may be fair in some scenarios to at least like the competitive people, but I would think really puts pugs at even more of a disadvantage in, you know, not having a reason to work together. Like, you're literally just running around hitting people. There's not really a purpose to working together like there used to be. So I agree that heroes versus villains could have had a better system maybe than they did, but I don't think this system should have taken away the old one as much as maybe been an additional game mode, or yeah, like, that's a good one, Kalen. They should have made the original conquest mode. Yeah, something like that. Like it needed to be different, but not in the way they chose to do it. And maybe they'll listen to the community, because I've seen on Reddit that a large portion of the community is asking for them to look into it. So maybe they will. I have been impressed.
Cool. You're sniping from the back, and then somebody jumps ahead of you and just stands there. That's really cool.
I can tell. You sound thrilled about it. I am impressed that they're still supporting this game, because like Battlefront, was it? I'm trying to remember if it was. I don't even remember which Battlefront it was. One of the Battlefront games only got support for like 6 months before they were already announcing the next Battlefront. I can't remember which game it was.
They've really turned around.
Yeah, but
they've done on a lot of their promises.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, as much as you can complain about stuff they've done here, at least they've stayed committed to it this long. Which it's basically been what, over a year or about a year?
I think over a year, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they're still going. They've committed to still delivering content and making changes and stuff.
There's supposed to be new weapons coming.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not the latest rumor I heard, which would be a very welcome change.
Yeah, absolutely. New weapons are always fun. Commander says the key to Heroes vs. Villains that you and the team have to stick together to win. Yeah, that's the same as it used to be for the having an actual target too. I've got matched to many times with people that just rush on their own, and that's almost identical to what you have when there was an objective in the mode. Is the teams that work together are going to win more, and teams that separate are going to lose more, which was true when there was an objective, and it's going to be true when there's not one. But I still like a reason to defend someone versus, you know, just being like a good pre-made. Like, our group of friends, that's in our nature to, like, protect each other, coordinate, call out. We do that all the time. We do it in Realm, we've done it in Battlefront. But when you think about, like, me playing casually, I like knowing that my teammates recognize this is who we're supposed to be attacking, or this is who we're supposed to be defending, or this is how we stay together. And there just aren't enough pugs in any game. It's not a Battlefront thing, so I'm not picking on Battlefront. In any game, to really make that something that's a skill. People just aren't very good at sticking together as often as they should if they're not a pre-made.
We are securing a command post.
Lots of bad dudes up there.
Kalen says, was just playing Battlefield 5 today. Good support. New guns and skins that were earned by unlock. That's good to hear. Yeah, I liked Battlefield 5. I haven't cared for a couple of the modes that I played, that like the 4v4 mode and stuff. Like, I wanted to like it. It really should have suited our group well, but apparently we just don't play that game enough to be good at it. So it actually was the opposite. It showed us that we're not practicing as much as we should. But I do appreciate, as always with any game, when you're, you know, continuing to support it. That's something that they really do have to be doing at EA to kind of make up for the fact that sometimes they're crap at that. Their communication is not the best. So when they do try to communicate, or they do try to support, at least, or not even EA, because that may be more of a DICE, you know, I'm not sure which of the companies are doing a good job or bad job under the EA umbrella. You may know better than I do, Russ. But
I'm not sure what's driving them to move from game to game.
But it does feel like they don't prioritize games as long as they used to. And maybe, again, maybe that's always been that way, and I'm just noticing it more as I get older.
I don't think live services were really a thing back in the day.
Well,
like, what games were you thinking were supported?
I guess I'm thinking more of like, and I used to play on PC when I played the original Battlefront games, and it just felt like when I used to play EA's games on the PC, I felt like it was one of two things. You either paid for something once, and there were no updates ever, or you paid for something once and they continued to update it with different patches that you got. And typically I'd say a game's lifespan was 2 years, it felt like, before you'd start to see the lack of support. Now that was PC.
Well, live service is a new thing though. Like PC, yes, they updated it with patches, but like balance.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, I get that. So, because I think of
relatively new. Like,
yeah,
you're talking about PC, so I assume that you mean you were playing years and years and years ago.
Yes, but I do see what you're saying. Like, what I'm referring to isn't necessarily what would be considered a live service as much as something else. So, looks like I'm getting flanked here.
The only good live service games I can think of off the top of my head, games like Destiny and maybe The Division. Can't think of any others off the top of my head. I got killed by Booty Finesser.
Huh. That's an interesting way to die, Russ.
It's a fun job, I guess.
Okay, we have to win this so we can win this, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Commander says, oh, you played on PC? Wow, was it a good running PC for games? Yeah, it was. That was way back in the day. Games weren't nearly as intensive as they are now in either graphics, the amount of course, everything improves. So when games are getting larger, so is storage. So are the memory cards and the graphic cards and so forth. So everything's improving as a whole, regardless. But I loved playing on my PC. It wasn't designed to be a gaming PC, but it wasn't a laptop. It was like an actual desktop, so you could like upgrade it. And I actually think Russ is one of my techie friends when it comes to like my skill level on a computer is probably like a 5 out of 10 tops, and Russ is probably like a 9 out of 10. And or an 8, an 8 out of 10. Anyway, Russ is much higher than I am on that skill level, and Russ had come over and actually helped me deck that PC out years and years and years ago. This would have been back in high school, so we're talking like 15 plus years ago, possibly.
I have zero memory of this.
Yeah, you came over to my house and helped me set up the computer.
I trust that I did.
This was also during the day and age where I could not get KOTOR to work past a certain level, which was miserable. It basically...
That was sad.
It was very sad, because that game was so cool.
Did you ever finish it?
I honestly don't think so. I played it some more, but I played it on my phone.
That's not a good one.
And that's what I was gonna say is, and I couldn't. I played on my phone for a little bit when it came out as an app, and I was just like, you know, it's cool in concept, but I need to play it on PC. I can't play this on the phone, so I don't think I ever did. It needs to be back on my to-do list. That game needs to be played at some point, all the way through.
I wish BioWare was in a state to actually make a good version of KOTOR. But the games they put out lately do not show that they are.
Yeah.
You tried Anthem with us.
I did not.
You did not?
That was
Oh,
Andy.
You didn't try
It was the three of y'all and Andy. It was you. Yeah.
you
I
had a
watched
good
your stream, and I decided that I was not going to keep it downloaded after that, so I uninstalled it.
They made it worse after that. And
Are
I'm
you
like, how?
serious? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's insane. Commander says, yeah, the games weren't as realistic back then. Really kind of crazy when you compare games to the old games. Yeah, but I'm going to play devil's advocate and be like that old man generation kind of thing. The one thing I'll say about a lot of games back then is, and a lot of new games can do this well too, so this isn't a criticism to new games with better graphics, but there were some really, really well designed older games, whether it be just in replayability or whether... well, going back to replayability, I guess. But like when you look at something like... I'm trying to remember a couple of the ones that I played like over and over. Say what? Yeah. What was the Star Wars one with the it was where you actually got to fight IG-88. You were like this random...
Oh yeah, that was, let me blow your mind here. That game was the first time I ever had to consider graphics in a computer.
Really?
My computer did not run Shadows of the Empire without a mysterious device called a 3D accelerator, which is what they called graphics cards back in the day. So I went with my dad up to the Comp USA, a mysterious shop full of wonders.
Very, very mysterious these days. We gotta get to be.
Got a Voodoo, I don't remember which Voodoo chip. It was the Voodoo 3D accelerator graphics card, and installed it just so I could play the graphical powerhouse known as Shadows of the Empire.
We got
Of course,
two
this game
villains.
was by IG88.
Shadows of the Empire is the one I was thinking of, so.
I see them. They're behind us.
Yep.
Not much I can do about it.
I almost killed them all. If anyone can shoot them a couple of times. Oh well. I really need someone to get off these heroes because, guys, I hate to do this to the stream, but if they make us repeat this one more cycle, I think we're just gonna call it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it.
Because I mean, let's try to get to be a different route. Like, don't go the main route. Let's try to find a side route. I don't know if we have much time. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure we're dead anyway, but maybe we can find a different entrance. Okay, so we need to pass this entrance. Try to kill him as he kills all of our people. And there we go. And that's game. Oh well. Okay, guys, we are just going to say we failed because this is the endless game mode apparently. Let's see, Commander says, yeah, when I think about it, some of the older type of games are just playing out more enjoyable than some present day games in my opinion. Yeah, and that's kind of the point I was going to make is there are some games that I'd still play to this day on older systems, like, and I'll give Nintendo a lot of credit because Nintendo does such a good job today and in the past with their games, but a lot of games did. You know, a lot of games really do. I'm backing out to the lobby, Kalen, Russ, just letting y'all know. Guys, thank y'all for joining us as we randomly had all kinds of conversation tonight, both with each other and with y'all. This was fun. So hopefully we will catch y'all shortly. If by any chance you are new to the stream tonight, whether you're watching live or after the fact, you can find us at Friendly Fire Games on both YouTube and Twitch. If we didn't scare you away, if we did scare you away, then don't bother to follow. But but you can also find us on Twitter at FF Games Live, where we keep our schedule for the week, what games we're playing, and so forth. And we've got a Discord that you can join. We like chatting with our viewers there throughout the week about random things and about the games in general. Any updates, you're welcome to post in there. Just anything going on. Kaylin, thank you again for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure. And thank you, Doom and Steven and Rose and Greg and anybody else that I'm missing. Thank y'all for visiting and keeping us company. Remember, guys,
We miss you, Greg.
We miss you, Greg. That's where I was gonna go. No, but on an ending note, remember, always watch your fire. Good night, everybody.
Wow.